Ladies and gentlemen, friends and fellow dreamers, I stand before you today not with answers to life's greatest questions, but with a story. A story that's still unfolding, a story full of unexpected turns, moments of pain, and bursts of joy that have led me to stand here with you all. Life, as we know, is unpredictable. We make plans, we dream big, we set goals, and yet life has its own ideas. Sometimes it feels like the universe conspires against us. It throws challenges our way, pushes us into places we don't understand, and makes us question everything we thought we knew. But here's the truth I've discovered: everything happens for a reason. Now, let me tell you something. This isn't just a comforting phrase people say when they don't know what else to say. No, it's much deeper than that. The struggles we face, the pain we endure, the things that make us feel lost, they all have a reason. They shape us. They mold us. They make us stronger. They give us the wisdom we need to move forward. When I reflect on my journey, there have been moments I never imagined I'd get through. There were times when life seemed too heavy to bear, when I couldn't see past the storm. I didn't understand why I was going through it. But you see, sometimes the biggest lessons don't come wrapped in neat packages of success and happiness. They often come in the form of the most difficult challenges. The moments when we feel like we've lost everything, those are the times we find out who we truly are. The reason behind the struggle? It is growth. We grow when life tests us. We grow when we're pushed out of our comfort zones. We grow when we choose to rise. Not because it's easy, but because we know we must. I want you to think of the things that have hurt you. The things that have made you feel like you were breaking, like you were too small to handle the weight of the world. Now, look at the person you've become because of those moments. You didn't break, did you? You became stronger, more compassionate, more resilient. You know, the reason we face these challenges is to teach us that we are capable of so much more than we think. We are resilient beyond measure. We have within us a power we often overlook until life forces us to see it. And sometimes the reason behind the hardship isn't even clear in the moment. It's only when we look back with time and understanding that we see the purpose, that we see how every moment, every choice, and every obstacle came together to lead us here. It's important to remember this: the tough times don't last forever, but the lessons do. And it is those lessons that prepare us for something greater. A greater purpose. A greater journey. If I had the chance to go back and change the path I've walked, I wouldn't. Because it's the bumps along the way that have made me who I am today. Those struggles didn't break me, they built me. So my friends, next time life knocks you down, remember there is a reason for it. Maybe you don't understand it now, but one day you'll look back and you'll realize that every hardship, every twist, every turn was guiding you to the person you are meant to become. And in those moments, you'll know that the reason was always within you. Life is unpredictable, challenges are inevitable. We all start with a vision, a dream, a goal we feel so certain about. We plan our paths with a sense of direction, anticipating a smooth road ahead. But reality, as it often does, has its own way of steering us in directions we never could have anticipated. The twists and turns, the bumps and obstacles are as much a part of the journey as the successes and triumphs. We may not always see it coming, but life has a rhythm of its own, a rhythm that doesn't always follow our meticulously crafted plans. And therein lies one of the most profound lessons. No matter how much we try to control the course, life is inherently unpredictable. From the moment we wake up in the morning, we are greeted by uncertainty. We may know what we want to accomplish during the day, but that does not guarantee that things will unfold exactly as we envision. A phone call, a message, or even a chance encounter can completely change the course of our day. The world operates on a level of unpredictability that we can't control. It's the kind of force that reminds us that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, something that is in constant motion, evolving in ways we can't always predict. When we talk about challenges, we often imagine big, dramatic moments, life-changing events, or periods of hardship. But challenges come in many forms, and they are not always grandiose. Sometimes challenges arrive in the form of small obstacles, subtle shifts that disrupt our routines. A delay in a project, a disagreement with a friend, a missed opportunity, these things might seem insignificant in isolation, but together they create a fabric of unpredictability that can shake our sense of control. For many of us, the unpredictability of life can be unsettling. We like to feel that we have some measure of control, that our actions have a direct influence on the outcome. Yet, life doesn't always work like that. We cannot always predict the people we will meet, the opportunities that will arise, or the challenges that will come our way. Even the best laid plans can be derailed in an instant by circumstances beyond our control. And this can be frustrating, especially when we feel like we've done everything right, when we followed the rules and played by the book. But it's in these moments of uncertainty that we are reminded of the true nature of life. Unpredictability forces us to confront our limitations. It challenges our need for control and pushes us to adapt, to stretch beyond our comfort zones. It teaches us that no matter how much we try to plan and prepare, there will always be factors beyond our comprehension, forces that can throw us off course. And while this may seem disheartening at times, it is also what makes life rich and full of possibility. Without unpredictability, we would be stuck in a cycle of routine, never experiencing the new, the exciting, the unexpected. One of the most important aspects of navigating an unpredictable world is learning to embrace uncertainty. It's easy to want to control every aspect of our lives, to make everything predictable, to know what's coming next. But this desire for certainty can become a barrier to growth. When we try to control everything, we limit our ability to experience life as it is, in all its rawness and unpredictability. Embracing uncertainty means letting go of the need for things to be perfect, for everything to go according to plan. It means accepting that life will surprise us, and that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay, it's essential. It's in the unpredictable moments that we find our true potential. We may not have expected to find ourselves facing a particular challenge, but it is often through these challenges that we discover strengths we never knew we had. We find new skills, new ways of thinking, and new solutions that we could never have imagined when everything was going smoothly. We learn how to pivot, how to adapt, how to make the best of a situation that is far from ideal. The unpredictability of life doesn't just teach us about the world around us, it teaches us about ourselves. There is also an undeniable beauty in the randomness of life. The people we meet, the experiences we have, the lessons we learn, they all come to us in ways we couldn't have predicted. If everything were predictable, life would lose its magic. It is the surprise, the serendipity, that keeps things exciting. Think about the most meaningful moments in your life. How many of them were the result of something you planned? How many of them were unexpected, spontaneous, or even uninvited? These are the moments that often shape us in the most profound ways. They challenge us to step outside of our expectations and embrace what is happening in the here and now. But even with all its unpredictability, life has a rhythm, a flow. It's easy to feel like we're just drifting, that things are happening to us rather than because of us. But I believe that, in the midst of uncertainty, there is a deeper sense of order. The unpredictable nature of life pushes us to evolve, to shift, to adjust, and in doing so, we begin to recognize patterns and connections we may have missed if everything had gone according to plan. We start to see how the unexpected moments fit into the bigger picture, how they are part of a larger narrative that is still unfolding. In many ways, the unpredictability of life is what keeps us grounded in the present. When we expect everything to go according to plan, we tend to focus too much on the future, always chasing the next milestone, the next goal. But life doesn't work that way. We cannot always predict what lies ahead, and sometimes it's better that way. The moments we live right now are the ones that matter the most. The unpredictability forces us to slow down, to pay attention, and to make the most of the opportunities before us, no matter how unexpected they may be. The challenge then is not to resist the unpredictability of life, but to learn how to flow with it. When we stop trying to control every outcome, when we stop fearing the unknown, we free ourselves to experience life in all its fullness. We allow ourselves to be surprised, to be amazed, and to be grateful for the very things we once feared. We learn that the unexpected is not something to be avoided, but something to be embraced. It is in the unpredictable moments that we find our true strength, our deepest connections, and our most transformative growth. The unpredictability of life is not something to fear, it's something to welcome. It's in the uncertainty that we find the possibility for change, for growth, and for deeper meaning. Yes, life can be messy, chaotic, and sometimes even overwhelming. But in the midst of that chaos, there is always something beautiful, something transformative waiting to be discovered. It's up to us to open our hearts to it, to accept that we don't have all the answers, and to trust that, in time, everything will fall into place as it's meant to. Pain teaches us resilience and wisdom. This is one of the most profound truths of the human experience. The pain we endure, whether physical, emotional, or mental, shapes who we are in ways that nothing else can. It is through our pain that we learn our deepest lessons, develop resilience, and acquire the wisdom that guides us through the rest of our lives. No one chooses pain, yet it is often the thing that helps us become the people we are meant to be. It is the catalyst that pushes us to grow in ways that would otherwise be impossible. When we experience pain, we often seek to avoid it, to make it go away as quickly as possible. The instinctive human response is to shy away from discomfort and to look for relief. We live in a world that celebrates comfort and convenience, and we are taught to prioritize our happiness above all else. But the reality is that pain is inevitable. It is a part of life, and no matter how hard we try to avoid it, it will always find a way to show up. And while it is painful and often unwelcome, pain is one of the greatest teachers we will ever have. Resilience is one of the most significant qualities we develop as a result of pain. Resilience is the ability to recover from adversity, to bounce back after setbacks, and to keep going when the road gets tough. Pain forces us to tap into this inner strength, to find the courage to move forward even when it feels impossible. It is easy to feel defeated when we are in the midst of pain, to believe that we cannot go on, that we are too broken or too weak to keep going. But the truth is that each time we endure pain and emerge from it, we become stronger. We learn that we are capable of surviving even the hardest of times, and with each challenge we face, our resilience grows. Resilience is not just about bouncing back from pain, it is also about how we carry ourselves through it. It's about finding the strength to keep going, to maintain hope, and to continue working toward our goals despite the setbacks. When we are in pain, it can be difficult to see beyond the immediate suffering. We can become consumed by our emotions, overwhelmed by the weight of our struggles. But through pain, we learn to trust ourselves, to believe that we have the strength to endure, and that there is light at the end of the tunnel. It is this ability to keep moving forward, even in the darkest moments, that builds our resilience. But resilience is not the only thing pain teaches us, it also teaches us wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to make sound decisions based on experience and understanding, and it is something that can only be gained through lived experiences. Pain teaches us the hard lessons that we would not otherwise learn. It shows us who we really are, what we truly value, and what we are capable of when we are pushed to our limits. Without pain, we would not have the same depth of understanding or the same capacity for empathy. Pain has a way of humbling us, of reminding us that we are not invincible, that we are fragile and vulnerable, and that our time on this earth is limited. It teaches us to cherish the moments we have, to value the relationships we build, and to make the most of every opportunity. Through pain, we also learn perspective. It is easy to become focused on the small, insignificant problems in our lives when everything is going well. We can become consumed by minor frustrations and petty concerns. But when we experience deep pain, we gain a new understanding of what truly matters. The things that once seemed important fade into the background, and we begin to see life through a different lens. Pain helps us focus on what is truly essential: our health, our relationships, our purpose, and our ability to grow. It strips away the superficial distractions and helps us prioritize what really counts. Pain also teaches us empathy. When we suffer, we are reminded of the suffering of others. We become more compassionate, more understanding, and more willing to support those around us who are going through their own struggles. It is easy to judge others when we have never experienced their pain. But when we have walked through the fire ourselves, we develop a deep sense of empathy for those who are hurting. We understand on a visceral level what it feels like to be in pain, and we are better equipped to offer comfort and support to others in their time of need. Pain opens our hearts, softens our judgments, and allows us to connect with others in a way that we may not have been able to otherwise. And it is also through pain that we learn our own boundaries. When we experience emotional or physical pain, we are forced to confront our limits. We learn what we can tolerate, what we can tolerate, what we can handle, and what we are not willing to endure. Pain teaches us to listen to our bodies, to trust our instincts, and to take care of ourselves in ways we may have neglected before. It helps us set boundaries in our relationships and in our lives, teaching us when to say no and when to prioritize our own well-being. In a world that often values productivity over self-care, pain forces us to slow down and pay attention to our needs. But perhaps one of the greatest gifts pain gives us is the ability to appreciate joy. When we experience deep pain, it brings us a new awareness of happiness and gratitude. The smallest moments of joy become more precious, more meaningful. Pain helps us see the contrast between suffering and happiness, and it allows us to appreciate the good things in life in a way we never could have before. We learn to savor the moments of peace, to celebrate the victories, and to find beauty in the ordinary. Without pain, we might take the joy we experience for granted. But after we've suffered, we become more attuned to the blessings in our lives, more aware of the gifts that we once overlooked. Pain also has a transformative power. It can break us down, but in the process, it also builds us back up. It challenges our beliefs, forces us to confront our weaknesses, and makes us reconsider who we are and who we want to become. It is a refining process that molds us into more authentic versions of ourselves. Through pain, we learn what we truly value, what we are passionate about, and what we are willing to fight for. It has a way of stripping away the parts of us that no longer serve us, leaving only what is essential. Pain may not be something we actively seek, but it is often through suffering that we become more fully ourselves, more in tune with our purpose, and more connected to the world around us. Pain teaches us resilience and wisdom because it forces us to face the realities of life and to grow through them. It teaches us that we are stronger than we realize, that we can survive even the hardest of times, and that we are capable of emerging from adversity stronger and wiser. While no one wants to experience pain, it is in the midst of it that we find the lessons that will guide us for the rest of our lives. It is through our pain that we learn to appreciate joy, to understand the struggles of others, and to develop the wisdom that comes from lived experience. Pain may be difficult, but it is also one of the greatest teachers we will ever have. Life has a way of challenging us, sometimes more than we think we can handle. It's easy to see obstacles as the end of the road, to feel as though they are insurmountable walls that block us from what we want. We may struggle, feel defeated, and wish for the challenges to end. Yet, in reality, these challenges are often the very things that shape us, refine us, and help us grow. They are not the end, but the beginning of our transformation. It's only by facing the struggles and pushing through them that we uncover the strength, resilience, and potential that lie within us. When we encounter a challenge, it's natural to feel a sense of resistance. We want to avoid the discomfort, the struggle, the uncertainty. But what if, instead of resisting the challenges that life throws our way, we embrace them? What if we saw them not as obstacles but as opportunities to learn, to grow, to evolve into the person we are meant to be? Each challenge, no matter how difficult it seems in the moment, has something valuable to offer. It might not always be immediately obvious, but over time we begin to see how those challenges have shaped us. The first thing challenges teach us is resilience. Resilience is not just the ability to bounce back after adversity, but the capacity to keep moving forward in the face of hardship. It's easy to give up when things aren't going well. It's easy to throw in the towel when life feels overwhelming. But resilience teaches us that we don't have to give up. We have the ability to adapt, to find new ways of approaching problems, and to keep moving forward, no matter how difficult the road may be. Resilience is built through hardship. It's developed by facing challenges head-on and finding ways to move through them, even when we feel like we can't go any further. As we face challenges, we also learn about our own strength. We often underestimate our own capabilities until we are pushed to the limit. In times of hardship, we are forced to tap into resources we didn't know we had. We dig deep, find inner strength, and surprise ourselves with what we are able to endure. In many cases, the things we think we cannot survive are the very things that make us stronger. When we're faced with adversity, we have a choice: we can succumb to it, or we can rise to meet it. It's in that rise that we discover who we truly are, what we're truly capable of. Challenges also teach us the importance of perspective. It's easy to get caught up in the weight of a situation, to focus solely on the negative aspects of it. But when we step back and shift our perspective, we often see that the challenge is not as daunting as it once seemed. The more we learn to see challenges as opportunities, the more we understand that they don't define us. They are simply part of the journey. Life is not about avoiding challenges, but about learning how to navigate them. When we learn to shift our focus and see the potential in every challenge, we take away its power to defeat us. Another key lesson that challenges teach us is patience. Patience is a difficult skill to cultivate, especially in a world that values instant results. We live in a society that tells us that we should be able to have everything we want immediately. But challenges often require time. They take longer than we expect, and the road to overcoming them is rarely straight. We may encounter setbacks, delays, and frustrations along the way. But it is through these experiences that we learn the importance of patience. We begin to understand that growth takes time, that transformation is not an overnight process, and that the best things in life are often worth waiting for. As we face challenges, we also learn the value of persistence. Success rarely comes easily. It is earned through hard work, dedication, and the willingness to keep going even when things seem impossible. When we are faced with a challenge, we are given a choice. We can either keep going or we can quit. Persistence teaches us that even when we feel like giving up, we can find the strength to keep moving forward. With each step, no matter how small, we are one step closer to overcoming the obstacle in front of us. Persistence is the key to success, and it is often the thing that separates those who achieve their goals from those who don't. In addition to resilience, strength, patience, and persistence, challenges also teach us about adaptability. Life is constantly changing, and the ability to adapt to those changes is crucial to our success. When faced with a challenge, we often have to shift our approach, try new methods, and be open to change. Adaptability teaches us to stay flexible in the face of adversity. It helps us understand that there is more than one way to solve a problem, and that sometimes the solution requires us to think outside the box. The more adaptable we become, the more equipped we are to handle whatever life throws our way. Challenges also help us to develop a greater sense of empathy. When we face difficulties, we gain a deeper understanding of what others may be going through. We learn not to judge others too quickly because we realize that everyone is fighting their own battles. Every struggle has a purpose. It shapes and strengthens us. This truth, when understood deeply, can alter the way we experience life's challenges. We often see struggles as obstacles, as things that stand between us and our goals. In moments of hardship, it's easy to fall into despair, to wonder why things are so difficult, to question our own abilities or worth. But what if we saw struggles differently? What if, instead of seeing them as things to avoid, we embraced them as essential elements of our growth? When we face difficulties, it can feel as though the world is conspiring against us. We work hard, we put in the effort, and yet things don't always turn out the way we hope. These setbacks can create a sense of defeat, a belief that we are somehow not good enough, that our dreams are unattainable. In these moments, it's crucial to remember that the very struggles that challenge us are also the ones that shape us. Every obstacle, every failure, every painful moment is an opportunity to build resilience, to learn, and to evolve into a stronger version of ourselves. The idea that every struggle has a purpose is rooted in the understanding that hardship is not random. Life has a way of bringing us what we need in order to grow, even if that growth is painful or uncomfortable. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It doesn't occur when things are easy and straightforward. Real growth is born from struggle, from those moments when we are pushed to our limits and beyond. It is in those times that we discover how much we are capable of, how much strength resides within us, even when we feel the weakest. Struggles teach us invaluable lessons. They force us to examine our limitations and weaknesses, and in doing so, they give us the chance to overcome them. They reveal parts of ourselves we might not have known existed. We are often far more capable than we think, but we don't truly discover that until we are tested. When everything is going well, we don't often push ourselves to the limit because we don't have to. But when faced with adversity, we are compelled to dig deeper, to find new ways of thinking, and to find creative solutions to problems that seemed insurmountable. The challenges we face give us the opportunity to develop new skills, to become more resourceful, and to cultivate patience and perseverance. One of the most transformative aspects of struggle is that it forces us to adapt. We can plan and prepare as much as we want, but life doesn't always go according to plan. When things fall apart, we have no choice but to pivot, to find new paths, and to think outside the box. In those moments, we might feel lost or confused, unsure of how to move forward. But it's precisely in these moments that we grow. When we are forced to adapt, we begin to see the world from a different perspective. We become more open to change, more flexible, and more willing to take risks. Through struggle, we learn how to be more resilient and resourceful, to find solutions where there once seemed to be none. Struggles also teach us the value of perseverance. It's easy to give up when things aren't going the way we want them to. It's easy to walk away when the road gets tough. But it is only through perseverance that we can truly achieve anything of significance. The most successful people, the most accomplished individuals, are often those who have faced the most adversity. They didn't get to where they are because everything came easily. They got there because they refused to give up, because they kept going even when it felt like the odds were stacked against them. Every time we choose to keep going, despite the struggle, we strengthen our resolve and build the mental toughness necessary to face future challenges. Furthermore, struggles foster empathy and compassion. When we face difficulties, we become more attuned to the struggles of others. We understand on a deeper level what it means to feel pain, frustration, and uncertainty. This shared experience of hardship creates a connection between us and others. It makes us more compassionate, more willing to offer a helping hand, more able to empathize with those who are going through their own struggles. In this way, struggles don't just help us grow individually, they allow us to connect with others on a deeper, more human level. They remind us that we are not alone, that everyone has their own battles to fight, and that we all have something to learn from each other. Struggles also teach us gratitude. When everything is going well, it's easy to take things for granted. We don't always appreciate the small victories, the quiet moments of peace, or the things we already have. But when we face hardship, we begin to see the value in the things we once overlooked. We realize how much we depend on the support of others, how much we value our health, how much we appreciate the simple comforts of life. Struggle has a way of resetting our perspective, making us more mindful of the things that truly matter. It helps us recognize that we have so much to be thankful for, even in the midst of difficulty. The purpose of struggle isn't always immediately clear. Sometimes it may take years for us to fully understand why we had to go through a particular hardship. It's only when we look back that we can see how those struggles fit into the larger picture of our lives. We begin to realize how they shaped us, how they prepared us for what was to come, and how they led us to where we are today. In the moment, it's easy to question why we have to go through such painful experiences. But with time, we often discover that those struggles were essential to our growth, that they were the catalyst for the changes we needed to make in order to become the people we are meant to be. It's important to remember that struggles don't define us, they refine us. They don't diminish our worth, they reveal our strength. They don't break us, they teach us how to rebuild. Every challenge we face is an opportunity for transformation. The more we embrace the struggle, the more we allow ourselves to grow, to evolve, and to become the best version of ourselves. We are not defined by our struggles, but by how we respond to them, by the strength and resilience we show in the face of adversity. In every struggle, there is a seed of growth waiting to be nurtured, a lesson waiting to be learned, and a purpose waiting to be fulfilled. Every struggle has a purpose. It shapes and strengthens us, preparing us for the next chapter of our lives, for the person we are becoming. Growth often comes through hardship, not comfort. This is a fundamental truth that many of us only come to realize after we face challenges that tested our limits. We live in a world that often emphasizes comfort, success, and ease. From an early age, we are encouraged to pursue the path of least resistance, to seek the things that make us feel good, that bring us immediate satisfaction, and that keep us free from pain. We are taught that happiness is the ultimate goal and that we should do everything we can to avoid suffering. But the truth is that true growth, the kind of growth that transforms us, that makes us stronger, wiser, and more resilient, does not come from living a life of ease. At its core, growth is about change, and change is not always comfortable. It often requires us to push beyond the boundaries of what we know, to step outside our comfort zones, and to face the uncomfortable truth about ourselves and the world around us. When things are easy, when life is going according to plan, there's little incentive to change. We are content and we don't feel the need to push ourselves further. But when we face adversity, when we encounter obstacles that force us to question everything we thought we knew, that's when we are given the chance to truly grow. Consider the process of learning to walk. As a child, we first crawl, then stand, and eventually take our first steps. It's not an easy process. We fall, we stumble, we get frustrated, and sometimes we cry. But with each fall, we learn something new. We learn how to balance ourselves, how to use our muscles in ways we never have before, and how to push through the discomfort and frustration. Growth happens in the struggle to stand, to balance, and to move forward. If we were to avoid the discomfort of falling, we would never learn how to walk. The same principle applies to every area of our lives. When we encounter hardship, we are forced to confront parts of ourselves that we might otherwise ignore. We discover what we are truly made of when we are tested. It's easy to feel confident when everything is going well, when we're riding the wave of success and accomplishment. But it's when we fall, when we experience failure or pain, that we begin to understand the depth of our strength. We learn how to adapt, how to persevere, and how to overcome. Growth comes not from staying in the comfort of our success, but from moving through the challenges that arise, from finding ways to thrive despite adversity. This process of growth through hardship also requires vulnerability. It requires us to let go of the illusion of control and to admit that we don't have all the answers. It's in these moments of vulnerability that we truly begin to grow. When we face difficult situations, we are often confronted with the need to ask for help, to rely on others, and to acknowledge that we cannot do it all on our own. This is not a weakness, it is a strength. It takes great courage to be vulnerable, to show up in our raw, unpolished state, and to ask for what we need. It's through this vulnerability that we connect with others, learn from their experiences, and grow in ways we never could have imagined. At times, the pain we experience in hardship can feel unbearable. There are moments when it seems like the weight of the world is too much to carry, when we feel like we've reached the end of our strength. But it is precisely in these moments when we feel like giving up that we are presented with an opportunity for growth. The human spirit is incredibly resilient, and it is in our most difficult moments that we are often shown just how strong we really are. We find courage in places we didn't know existed, we develop skills we never thought we'd need, and we build a deeper understanding of ourselves and others. The process of growth through hardship also teaches us patience. Change doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, effort, and perseverance. When we are going through a difficult time, we want the pain to end quickly, and we often wish for a way out. But the true lessons come from the process itself. From the journey we take through the hardship, not just the end result. We must learn to be patient with ourselves, to trust that, in time, we will emerge stronger and wiser. Patience is not just about waiting, it's about learning to accept the present moment, even when it's uncomfortable, and trusting that the discomfort is part of the larger process of growth. Another critical aspect of growth through hardship is the development of resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after adversity, to recover from setbacks, and to continue moving forward despite the obstacles in our way. Resilience is not something we are born with, it is something we cultivate through experience. Each time we face a challenge and come out the other side, we grow a little bit stronger. We learn that we can survive, that we can thrive, even in the face of difficulty. Resilience allows us to keep going when the road gets tough, to keep pushing forward when it seems like success is out of reach. When we face hardship, we also learn the value of perspective. In times of struggle, it's easy to focus on the pain and the difficulty of the situation. We can become so consumed by what is going wrong that we forget to see what is going right. Yet, it is in the hardest moments that we often learn to shift our perspective, to see things from a different angle. We begin to appreciate the small victories, the little moments of joy, and the lessons that come from our struggles. Hardship teaches us not just to focus on the destination, but to appreciate the journey, to recognize the value in each step, no matter how difficult it may seem. We often look at the world and see success as something that is achieved without struggle. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that those who have made it in life, in their careers, or in their personal journeys did so without any difficulty or sacrifice. We look at their achievements and wish we could have the same without truly understanding what it took to get there. But the truth is that every success is built on the foundation of failure, struggle, and resilience. No one, no matter how successful they seem, gets to where they are without first facing challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. Every accomplishment has its roots in the hardships that were faced along the way. When we think of success, it's important to remember that it is not a straight line. It's not a simple path that leads from point A to point B. Rather, success is a journey filled with twists, turns, and bumps along the road. It's the result of years of hard work, perseverance, and the willingness to keep going even when things are tough. It's about having the courage to fail, to stumble, to pick yourself up and try again. Success is not about never falling, it's about learning to rise each time you do. Success doesn't just happen by chance. It is a product of intentional effort, and sometimes that effort doesn't look glamorous. We tend to celebrate the end result, the victory, the recognition, the accomplishments, but we rarely acknowledge the years of hard work, the failures, the doubts, and the sacrifices that went into getting there. It's easy to admire the final outcome, but we must remember that what we see on the surface is just the tip of the iceberg. Beneath the surface, there is a deep, often unseen, layer of struggle and effort that contributed to that success. Every successful person has had to confront obstacles, challenges, and moments of failure that tested their resolve. Success is a reflection of resilience. Resilience is the ability to keep going in the face of adversity, to push through the difficult moments when quitting feels like the easier option. It's easy to give up when things don't go as planned, when things don't work out the way we expect. But those who achieve success are those who refuse to quit, who find the strength to keep going when it feels like the world is against them. Resilience is built through adversity. It's in the hard times that we learn to adapt, to adjust our approach, and to find new solutions. Resilience is not about avoiding failure, it's about embracing it and learning from it. When we face failure, it often feels like the end of the road. It's tempting to see failure as a sign that we aren't good enough, that we're not capable of achieving what we set out to do. But failure is not the end. In fact, it's often the beginning of a new path. Every time we fail, we learn something valuable. We learn what doesn't work, and we learn what we need to do differently next time. Failure is not a reflection of our worth, it's simply a part of the journey. Those who succeed are the ones who fail the most, because they are the ones who are willing to try again after each setback. Failure is just a stepping stone on the path to success. In the face of failure, it's easy to feel discouraged. It's easy to question ourselves, to doubt our abilities, and to wonder if we are truly capable of achieving our goals. But it's in those moments of doubt that we discover our true potential. The road to success is rarely easy, and it is filled with moments where we must dig deep to find the strength to keep going. These moments of struggle are what forge our character, what shape us into the people we need to become in order to achieve our goals. Success is not about avoiding failure, it's about learning to move forward in spite of it. One of the greatest lessons we learn along the way to success is the importance of persistence. Persistence is the ability to keep going, even when things are difficult, when the road ahead is unclear, and when it feels like we're not making any progress. It's easy to get discouraged when we don't see immediate results, when we feel like we're stuck in a never-ending cycle of effort without reward. But persistence is the key to success. Those who persist are the ones who ultimately achieve their goals. Persistence is about keeping your eyes on the prize, even when the journey seems long and uncertain. It's about trusting that every step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to where you want to be. Success also teaches us the importance of focus. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to lose sight of our goals. We are constantly bombarded with new ideas, new opportunities, and new paths to take. It can be overwhelming, and it's easy to become distracted by all the noise. But success requires focus. It requires the ability to tune out distractions and to keep our attention on the things that matter most. Focus is what helps us stay on track, to stay committed to our goals, and to make steady progress toward our dreams. Without focus, it's easy to get sidetracked, to lose momentum, and to give up on our goals altogether. Another crucial element of success is adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and the path to success is rarely a straight line. There will be obstacles, detours, and unforeseen challenges along the way. Those who succeed are the ones who are able to adapt to changing circumstances, to shift their approach when necessary, and to remain open to new opportunities. Adaptability allows us to navigate the unexpected and to find new ways of achieving our goals. It's not about sticking rigidly to one plan or method, but about being flexible and willing to adjust when things don't go as expected. Success is also about patience. In a world where everything seems to move at a rapid pace, it's easy to get frustrated when things don't happen as quickly as we want them to. We want immediate results, and when we don't see progress, it's tempting to give up. But success takes time. It's the result of years of hard work, of consistent effort, and of staying committed to the process even when it feels like we're not getting anywhere. Patience teaches us to trust the process, to believe that our efforts will pay off even if the results aren't immediately visible. The best things in life take time, and success is no exception. Success also involves learning from others. No one achieves greatness in isolation. We all need guidance, support, and inspiration from others along the way. Whether it's mentors, colleagues, friends, or family, success is often the result of collaboration and connection. Learning from others helps us avoid mistakes, gain new perspectives, and find new ways of approaching our goals. It's important to surround ourselves with people who support us, challenge us, and inspire us to keep going, even when the journey is tough. Finally, success is about having a vision. It's about knowing what you want and being willing to do whatever it takes to make that vision a reality. Success starts with a dream, a goal, or a passion. It's about knowing what you want and staying committed to achieving it, no matter what obstacles or challenges come your way. Without a clear vision, it's easy to lose direction, to become distracted, and to give up. But when you have a clear sense of purpose and a vision for your future, you can stay focused, persistent, and determined to make it happen. Success is not something that happens overnight. It's a long and challenging journey that requires resilience, persistence, adaptability, and patience. It's about embracing failure, learning from mistakes, and continuing to move forward. Success is not the absence of struggle, it is the result of overcoming it. Each challenge, each setback, and each moment of doubt is an opportunity to grow, to become stronger, and to move one step closer to the person you are meant to be. Success is not a destination, but a journey that is shaped by every challenge and every triumph along the way.